I'm going to do right now, guys, I'm going to bring on an individual who I admire, who I had an opportunity to catch up with this morning, and looking over his LinkedIn and his resume over the last couple of weeks when we had an opportunity to connect on LinkedIn and so forth. But I'm going to bring on a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Martindale, a good gentleman, a gentleman who's been in the tech space for a very long time, and he's in tech sales. And he's going to give us a background on his journey into tech and what it has done for him. One of the things that I would tell you guys is this: tech has changed my life. Sales has changed my life. It has changed my life for the better. It's been a skill set that I had no idea that will or can translate to just about every field that you're in, doesn't matter what industry. And it's done a magnificent role within my career and within my journey as well too. You guys see that I'm a devoted father, devoted husband, and so forth. And sales has allowed for me to grow my other streams of income by me being able to invest my high earnings and so forth. And I want to say something. This week was a bit of a ugly week as well too for some of us. We heard the news of our brother Kevin Samuels, who passed away. He meant a lot to a lot of people. And what I would say is this, guys, is we're all on a journey. We're all on a journey in our lives, no matter what journey that is. I want you guys to always think about this, is think about who you're doing it for. Think about who you are doing it for. And when I think about my journey that I'm currently on and who I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for my family. And that's the most important part of this journey. Yesterday, I was on a boat with the wife and the kids. It was a Friday. We decided to go on the boat because Austin was 93 degrees yesterday. And, I said, okay, well, it's time for us just to go out on the boat and spend some time in the water. And it was a beautiful thing. When I saw my kids in the front of the boat and just having a good time, listening to music, jumping into the water and so forth in the lake, it highlights what I'm doing it for. And that's very important, guys. So no matter how much success you have, you want to be able to share that with individuals who are on the journey with you and who support you. And for me, that's my family. That's you all as well too. So guys, you're going to continue to see my journey because I'm going to showcase it. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and looking forward to all of us having success and me being able to share that success with you all as well too. With all that being said, let's turn it over to our brother Jonathan to introduce himself on the show today. Brother Jonathan, man, I'm going to make sure you can hear us. Can you hear us just fine first, brother?
Yeah, yep, hear you fine.
Perfect, man. How are you doing this morning, my man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real well.
Awesome. Well, as I always do on this show, I bring on individuals who I admire, John. And I want for you to give the people in the audience today an introduction to yourself. I kind of introduced yourself, but I want you to introduce yourself as well too, and tell people a little bit about your background and why you're here today. Go ahead, give it to us, John.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Antoine. So, yeah, Jonathan, I'm here down in Houston, Texas. I am currently a sales engineer. I'm with a company called Snowflake. Full disclosure, everything I'm saying today is my thoughts, my words. I don't represent Snowflake in any way in this capacity, but just want to get that housekeeping out of the way. But yeah, it's been a real great journey in tech, throughout tech. I've been in tech, I like to say, almost 30 years now. I started off at the help desk back in '94. I went to Prairie View A&M, and this actually leads into why I'm a big fan of trying to give back, talk, speak, do whatever I can to kind of give opportunities in tech. Because what happened for me was at my freshman year at Prairie View, I major in computer science. I was always into tech stuff. Computers was I took a programming class my senior year. I took basic, so I'm definitely dating myself, but that was the class, and I just took to it, and I was like, this is my thing. And this is where I always say, like, my career, my journey has been a mixing of hard work, dumb luck, and blessing, kind of all rolled in together. And taking that programming class my last semester of high school made it clear what I was going to major in, because I knew I would do something STEM related, but I had no idea what. But that kind of definitely was like, that's it. And so I got it. So I went to Prairie View. I majored in computer science, and in that first year, one of my professors, who actually was he just taught a class in the evenings. He was an executive at an oil company here in Houston. He created an internship program, and so after my freshman year, I would alternate semesters and work at the oil company here in Houston.
Wow.
And I was working the help desk, and that really it gave me experience. It gave me real world experience. It really showed me how to apply the things I was learning, what I was learning in school that wasn't relevant. And so it really set me on the right sort of path.
Wow.
But it was all just him giving me that opportunity, and giving a couple students that opportunity was really, really life-changing in a lot of ways, to be honest.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Jonathan. So you got to tell me this. How many years did you intern? I mean, like, you think about, like, one of the things we talk about on this channel is internships and stuff as well too, because many people on this channel watch us because I always talk about management information systems, which I think is a fantastic major. Computer science as well too, right? You did a computer science, but talk about, how many times did you intern by the time that you graduated?
Oh, so it was great, because doing that afforded me opportunities to get a lot of other internships. So I interned here at this oil company, and then after that, I had opportunity to go back, but then I wanted to experience everything. And this professor, Willie Waters, he said, try a bunch of different things. See, that's the point of internships, right? Go try other things. We'll find other people. Don't feel loyalty or obligated like this just to come back because this is where you're at. So I went, and then I interned at a telecom company up in Chicago area, and was just doing hardcore programming, and realized, even though I like programming, being a pure coder was not necessarily what I wanted to do. I'm a people person. I wanted to be much more engaged with folks. Then I took another internship the next year after that. I was at a quality assurance. I was a QA tester at a software company. I did realize then that I didn't necessarily want to do QA, but I did like working at a software company, at a software vendor. That was really cool. But given that experience, I got to try a lot of different things. I thought, and I wasn't wrong, I really wanted to get into consulting and doing a lot of, you get to deal with a lot of people, you get to deal with a lot of projects. And I'm a big fan of if you have the opportunity and the lifestyle of consulting works well for you, to start your career in consulting if possible, because you end up doing a lot of different things early on. So I still was in this mindset that, the best IT job is to be the sysadmin, because, being the help desk guy, whatever, you saw all the sysadmins hold all the power. And this is before the cloud and before a lot of things. So tech was definitely looked different back in the mid 90s than it does today. But I was like, I want to be a sysadmin. And I went to a company where I thought, I'm going to, they're going to give me all these certifications, and I'm going to be, Microsoft certified and Novell certified. So I'm definitely dating myself talking about my Novell certification. And so it's like, I'm going to do all this. And then I get into the role, and I realize this is not really consulting, right? What we're really doing is what we call like staff augmentation. You need an extra help desk person. You need an extra admin or something. We can go fill that role for you. It wasn't like where you're really into doing anything strategic. You're not really helping them solve a business problem or anything like that. So I realized, okay, I wanted to do a different kind of consulting. So I left there, and I went to what was commonly called the big five or the big four consulting firms. So I went to KPMG. I was there for a little while. Went to Accenture and really got to experience a lot of what that sort of consulting has to offer. Let me just back up real quick, and this is also leads to one of the things I like to try and talk about tech is that I look back at my career and I think about I don't necessarily quantify them as mistakes, but things where I'm like, I would have made a different choice if I had known better. If someone had really put me up on game, let me understand what these roles have to be. And that was one reason why I got into sales a little bit later than I could have, because I didn't understand what like tech sales had to offer. In my mindset, sales was the car salesman guy, right? The stereotype, kind of sleazy, kind of just like it wasn't about the relationship building that it actually is. So I was like, I'm not doing sales. And plus, it always seemed a little bit dangerous because I saw salespeople get cut all the time, because that is the one downside of sales, right? You have one or two bad quarters, it could be very uncomfortable for you in that role. And so when I was looking at consulting, I had a company calling me, and I was like, I don't want to work for these people. I don't know what, because it was a company called Boston Consulting Group. And I was like,
big
I don't want
company,
to
by
move
the
to
way.
Boston. Yeah. I learned later the opportunity that I ignored. I was like, I don't want to work. I don't want to move to Boston. I don't know. Thankfully, nowadays, everyone has the ability to just go Google stuff, right? This was pre go Google everything. So hopefully I wouldn't make that mistake if it was the same thing if I was a young person today and it came along. But I say all that to say that like I totally ignored this opportunity because I assumed what I knew and I didn't. I didn't realize that I was living in this bubble where the best place to work were these one or two companies. And I see that today when people talk about FANG kind of companies, like I only want to work at Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and that Google, and that's it. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with working there, but don't get so caught up in this bubble that you think that is the end all be all, because the truth is you really don't know what you want to do. You don't know that there's a lot of opportunities that don't exist there. There's more to it than just that. And I definitely see this a lot with people of color when I talk to them, that we really get caught up in, okay, I only want six figures and I only want to work at these FANG companies, and like that's the goal. And it's not a bad goal, it's a good goal for sure, but there's so much more to tech. There's so many other nuances to that journey that I wish people would make sure they include in their thinking as they kind of go down that road.
I love that.
So,
I love
yeah.
that, John. But